In the heart of Las Vegas, where the lights never dimmed and the stakes were always high, two young construction workers were cashing in their winnings from casino games. The house always wins, or so the saying goes. Nobody thought it could be beaten. Nobody except Jeremy Lewis and Eric. But these two had uncovered a loophole in the casino system. A discovery that would forever alter the landscape of Vegas gambling. It all began in a modest garage in 2004, 1 year before their fateful exploits. Jeremy, a 20-year-old with a troubled past, had spent 2 years laying low, trading a life of petty crime for a steady paycheck in construction. Life was good, but the booming construction market in Las Vegas was faltering. Contracts were scarce, and with credit card bills and mortgage payments looming, desperation began to grip the team. As they drove down the dazzling Las Vegas Strip one evening, Jeremy's boss pointed out the glitzy casino billboards. One ad featuring a giant casino chip caught his eye with its vibrant colors. "Have you ever wondered how they make those things?" he asked, his voice trailing. Silence filled the car. The question hung in the air, but Jeremy and his co-workers knew exactly what was being suggested. They had fantasized about such a venture before. Just 10 minutes off the Strip was the Green Valley Ranch Casino, a familiar sight on their daily commutes. Tomorrow, with no work ahead, they would swing by to grab a selection of the casino's cheapest chips. The following morning, Jeremy and Eric gathered in Eric's garage, which had become a makeshift workshop. With a folding workbench set up and a determined mindset, they began to break down the casino chips, carefully examining their materials. Replicating the size and shape would be straightforward, but matching the weight, texture, and color would prove challenging. Any replica they created would need to be indistinguishable from the real thing. Soon, they discovered the two main components of each chip: a customized inner disc representing the casino's brand and value, encased in a tougher exterior. The chip manufacturers had perfected this process, keeping their secrets well guarded. If they could replicate one chip, they could replicate them all. As the team worked, they joked about future riches, cars, and watches, imagining their financial troubles as a distant memory. But reality soon sobered their spirits. Early attempts at melting and reforming Green Valley casino chips only resulted in a loss of money and material. Frustration mounted as they struggled to replicate the unique plastic, sand, and clay compound that composed authentic casino chips. Days turned into weeks and tensions rose. Some team members dropped out, unable to withstand the financial pressures. The once cheerful atmosphere transformed into one of quiet desperation. Finally, only Jeremy and Eric remained, and their determination hardened. "We've come too far to give this up," Eric insisted, and Jeremy nodded in agreement. They were in too deep to turn back now. In their quest for knowledge, they scoured the internet for details about Vegas chip manufacturers, finding scant information. Undeterred, they collected more chips from the Green Valley Casino to study them further. Under bright lights armed with magnifying glasses, they noted the differences between various denominations, the colors, the branding, the intricate designs. It was then that Eric had a breakthrough. As he sat sketching with a Sharpie, inspiration struck. Next to him lay a $1 chip and a $100 chip, both adorned with pale stripes around the rim. "What if we just color them in?" he exclaimed. It was a simple idea that felt almost foolish in its simplicity, but it offered a solution to many of their problems. They would order $1 chips, modify them, and essentially turn a $1 investment into a $99 profit. With this revelation, they just needed to tackle color matching and replicate the security features of high-value chips. As they experimented, they discovered that casinos often marked their chips with invisible ink, visible only under ultraviolet light. After many failed attempts, they realized that boiling water could soften the internal disk of a chip, allowing them to separate it from the main body, which was unaffected by heat. This breakthrough opened up a world of possibilities. With their method in hand, they meticulously scanned the design of the $100 chip and printed it out, allowing them to create thousands of duplicates. They carefully painted the modified $1 chips with the new designs, learning to use an airbrush for a flawless finish. The chip's sound when dropped was crucial. Their fakes needed to mimic the authentic thud of genuine chips. Finally, the moment of truth arrived. With 3 freshly transformed $100 chips, Jeremy and Eric drove to the Green Valley Ranch Casino. Anxious and inexperienced in the art of deception, Eric waited nervously in the car while Jeremy ventured inside. The minutes felt like hours as Eric watched the casino's entrance, heart racing. When Jeremy finally emerged, his face was a mask of excitement. "I did it!" he shouted, holding $300 cash. Their scheme had worked, but Eric wasn't ready to celebrate. They had proven their concept, but now they needed to scale up. Back in the garage, they transformed their operation into a slick production line, carefully minimizing risks while maximizing profits. They decided to target multiple casinos simultaneously, capitalizing on their chips' similarities. However, they quickly realized that simply cashing in the chips would raise suspicion. They needed a clever plan. Their strategy evolved. They would play in the casinos to launder the dirty chips. If questioned, security would see they acquired their chips through legitimate play. They would discreetly switch out counterfeit chips for clean ones in restrooms and secluded areas. With renewed vigor, their operation expanded beyond Green Valley Ranch, including major casinos like Caesar's Palace and Mandalay Bay. Their scheme grew, so did their confidence, and the cash flowed in. Yet, the longer they continued, the higher the risk of being caught. They needed to maximize their gains and quit while they were ahead. Eric, the more business-savvy of the two, streamlined their process. They could create a chip in just 5 to 10 minutes, producing about 20 chips a day. Their lifestyle improved dramatically, with Eric showering his wife with gifts and dining out frequently. Meanwhile, Jeremy stocked up on materials and collected more chips from various casinos. But success breeds complacency. Eric learned that Jeremy was living recklessly, partying in an $800 a night suite at the Riviera Hotel with groups of girls. This reckless behavior drew unwanted attention, leading to a serious misstep. One girl began to blackmail him. She had learned too much and demanded a hefty payoff, threatening to reveal their operation if they didn't comply. Tensions escalated further when Jeremy confided in Eric about his troubled past, including drug charges and an outstanding forgery warrant in California. Eric began to see Jeremy as a liability, but it was too late. They were too deep. Unbeknownst to them, the casinos had noticed the unusually high number of high-value chips cashed in. As March 2005 approached, Eric's wife left town for the weekend. The duo saw this as the perfect opportunity to execute a massive score, turning a bag of $1 chips into $1,000 chips, targeting multiple casinos for a staggering $1 million haul. In the garage, they worked with peak efficiency, transforming chips at record speed. But as they reveled in their imminent success, an ominous feeling loomed. Outside, unmarked vehicles began to circle the area, and the shadows deepened around their operation. The night of their grand plan, with adrenaline pumping through their veins, Eric and Jeremy were high on confidence and ambition. They felt invincible as they boiled their last batch of $1 chips, dreaming of the riches they would soon claim. But just as they cracked open a celebratory beer, a loud knock echoed through the garage. Heart racing, Eric glanced at Jeremy, both of them frozen in a mix of fear and disbelief. "It can't be her," Jeremy whispered, panic in his eyes. Several law enforcement officers burst in when Eric opened the door, catching Jeremy red-handed amid the chaos. The raid was swift and decisive, and the evidence against them was overwhelming. Thousands of counterfeit chips in various stages of production, spray paint, and printing materials were all there, exposing the full extent of their operation. As the agents searched the garage, they discovered that most chips were untraceable. Eric and Jeremy were led away in handcuffs, and their dreams of fortune turned to ash. The gravity of their situation hit hard when their bail was set at an astounding $5 million each, an amount typically reserved for serious felonies. In a dingy interrogation room, the truth emerged. The girl Jeremy had been involved with had indeed turned them in despite their bribe. She hoped to lessen her boyfriend's sentence, but her actions sealed their fate. Jeremy faced a long prison term due to his extensive criminal history, while Eric, choosing to cooperate with authorities, received a far lighter sentence of 5 years probation and community service. Embarrassed by the incident, the Vegas casinos scrambled to tighten security measures. They introduced RFID technology in their chips, embedding small microchips that allowed for tracking and verification, ensuring that no one could exploit their systems again. If you enjoyed this story and want to hear more about the fascinating world of casinos and the incredible stories that unfold within, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Join us next time as we dive into more captivating tales from the underbelly of gambling, where fortunes are made and lost in the blink of an eye. Thanks for watching, and remember, always play smart and know when to walk away.